Hey guys, before we start the pod, a quick word from our sponsors at Mortgage Choice. There's a lot of noise in the property market, buying, selling, capital gains, leverage. There's a whole bunch of stuff that is quite confusing. I take the guesswork out by working with the team here in South Melbourne at Mortgage Choice. I have worked personally with Paul and Ben at Mortgage Choice. They have been incredible to work with. They helped me with my own family home, and I recommend they help you with yours too. So there you have it, guys. I highly recommend you check out Mortgage Choice. Hey guys, welcome back to the Hear Me Roar pod. I am Toby, and my co-host is none other than the Kate Save, which you might know her from Shark Tank. She's also founder of BeFit Foods and picked up Telstra's Business of the Year award too. Kate?
Well, Toby, you've got a super impressive CV, 25 years in global commercialisation experience, and you founded Creative Cubes, Australia's leading co-working space and real estate business.
All right, let's get on with the pod.
Hey, Toby, welcome back on the pod.
I don't know if it can get much better.
I
We've
know.
had some incredible guests.
Yeah.
Last episode, we had big surf wave rider.
Yeah, Matt Formston.
Far out.
Netflix documentary, amazing.
Well, my daughter's a surfer,
Yeah.
so I've got to get her on that.
Yes.
And say that Matt came on the pod.
And talking about that, like we were saying, trust, and our next guest is all about confidence, and they're interlinked really,
I think they
because
are.
I feel like if you don't have the confidence, you won't be able to form the trust, will you?
Do you think you're a confident person?
Yes.
Yes?
I do actually. Yeah. I would have said when I was a teenager, because I look at my kids every day and I think, where are they on that confidence scale? And I'm like, they were just like me. They did not have confidence. My confidence came when I was out of school. I think school is that testing ground, and, you know, you kind of get sorted, don't you, and thrown around a little bit. I felt like that.
I think for me, tons of confidence on the court and on the field.
Oh, so sport.
Less confident in the classroom.
Yeah.
Confident with the girls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or trying to be, you know, a young buck. Less confidence in the academia. More confidence as a you know, in totality.
Yeah.
Was when my mum said, "Don't do it for me, do it for you. I've lived my life."
Yes.
And that was sort of like a huge unlock. I was like, "Oh, okay. So you mean I can go and do whatever it is I want to do?" She's like, "Yeah, just careful where you shit,
Yeah.
because it'll come back to you 10x if
Yeah.
you do bad, and it'll come back to you 10x if you do good.
Yeah.
But yeah, go do your thing, son. Like, don't live your life for me." And so that gave me a like, well, she's given me the permission to go and do what I need to do or do what I want to do. And I think from there, my wife gives me tons of confidence. You know, if I'm in the middle of a big conversation or a big keynote or a big, you know, guest is coming on, or whatever the case may be, raising, you know, equities or cash for ventures and stuff, none of it really matters to me.
No,
None
that's
of it matters to me because I know that my wife, my kids,
they will back you.
they're backing me,
Yeah.
and I have all the confidence because it doesn't matter if I end up with shit on a plate. They believe in me, they trust me, they love me, they care for me, and
Well, let's unpack this with our next guest.
I'm very excited too. Quick word from the sponsors. Guys, I want to introduce you to Rise, a business cohort like no other. So what is the Rise Network? Rise Network is a curated inner circle of 10 to 12 like-minded peers designed to provide a confidential, high-trust environment where business owners and leaders can gain strategic insights, actionable solutions, and lasting relationships. Rise isn't just networking, it's a game-changing business support system. It has strategic problem solving built in, expert facilitation, actionable insights, long-term impact and authentic relationships, and it's based exclusively around high-trust cohorts. For your membership, you gain full access to Creative Cubes. That means you can drop in when you're on the run to use the meeting rooms, breakout spaces, or even just dock in for the day. We wanted to serve the underserved, the people that do need the help, do need the support, don't necessarily have the funds to be able to do it and don't necessarily fit into one of these other organizations. And so that's where Rise kind of came from. So there you have it, guys. Go to werise.au and I hope to see you at one of our cohorts soon.
Welcome, Colleen. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, it's great to see you.
Now, I thought you and Tobi had met before and you found someone in common. I knew you would. You both know everyone.
There'll be more than one, but it's great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Are you feeling confident sitting here?
Well, I was really just loving the conversation between the two of you because you were having this conversation about confidence, and so many things that you both said are really things that resonated with me, because confidence often comes from people believing in you, and you were just talking about your wife and your mother and your kids, and I loved that story. And it also comes from us believing in ourselves. And Kate, you were saying you got your confidence later in life, and we get confidence at all different times in our life, and often the things that come naturally to us, the things that we're really good at, we're going to feel confident in doing those things. And when we're stepping outside of our comfort zone, which is really, as we know, where we grow, that's where we're going to struggle sometimes with confidence, but it is the best place to grow our confidence. It's that willingness to try and step into new things. So I loved your conversation. I was just sitting back having a great old time over here.
And as soon as I said it, it got me reflecting, actually, was it straight out of school or was it after having kids? And then I kept thinking of the low moments when you have a child and you take them home and you're like, oh my God, what am I doing? So like you might think you're confident in your workplace or you're confident in your sport, but then you give birth and then you're like, what am I doing? And then you know how to parent all of a sudden. And then my sister gave birth and I'm like, oh, got this. This is good. So got some confidence there. But then you get thrown into something unknown. And I guess that initial reaction is fear. But I think from learning about confidence and reading your other books, not this new one just yet, understanding, that growth is when you are scared and having to jump right in. I can think of my experience on that AI stage that we talked about in previous episodes, and being just put in the middle of an arena without that confidence and just going, own it and you will be fine.
So interesting. On Friday, I'm going skiing, taking the girls skiing. And for the better part of 12 years, it was my daughter Madison, Maddie and Daddy ski trip every year, with the exception of COVID, right?
We've both got two daughters each, the same age.
Same age. And so I put Maddie on the slopes. She still was wearing a diaper. She grew up in Los Angeles. She wasn't allowed on the slopes unless she was potty trained. She wasn't, but I just patted her up, and the instructors didn't know any different, and we got her into ski school. And so last year, Maddie and Daddy's ski trip got interrupted by Maddie, Daddy, and Harper, who's my youngest. And so Maddie and I, confident, put the skis on, get on the lift, we're going up the top. But before we do that, let's check Harper into ski school. She's never been on the snow before. She's 11. She's 11 now. She was 10 at the time. Put her into school. She was so resistant to me. I'm not going. I don't want to do this. This is for babies. And I was like, babe, you don't know how to ski. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Let's do one class. Let's see what the instructor says. And then maybe you can join us. So she gets to the end of the class, and I go to the instructor. How did she go? Oh, she's a natural. She's really confident. I was like, okay, all right. So what? Is she ready to go up the mountain? She goes, oh no, we just learned how to sort of do the very basics. We haven't even talked about turning yet. I go, babe, you got to go back to lesson 2 now. She's like, Dad, I'm not doing it. I go, what do you mean? She goes, take me on the lift. I'm going to the top of the mountain. I go, but you don't know what you're doing. She goes, fuck it. I'll wing it. She's a 10-year-old. I'm like, all right, you got one chance. I'm not confident. I'm confident that she's going back to class. She has one chance. Get us up there. I'm like, not confident. I'm like shitting myself because I'm like, this is going to be a disaster. We're definitely ending up in hospital here with something broken. And she did it. And she did it so well that was it. She had a one and done ski lesson. We're back on the mountain on Friday. This is season 2 for her. This year I bought her all the gear, so she's got her skis and all the rest of it. But she's super confident. And so in that moment, she actually had no understanding or the depth or the height of the mountain and the terrain and the stuff that she was going to have to navigate, but she was confident.
Yeah.
And so with that confidence, she did it. And that was it. And we kept going.
I love that story. And it does say something about children and confidence, right? Because they have no fear. So they're happy to do anything. I have a son very much the same, just put his hand up and says, yes, I can do it. And that's been his sort of journey his whole life because they don't hold themselves back. And as we get older, I started skiing in my 30s now that we're talking about skiing, and I was petrified. Sure. And it's really hard because we start with a place of fear and children start with a place of there is no fear. So when we take that fear barrier away, we can actually do amazing things and things that we didn't think we could do. So it's a great story.
It's incredible. So for those that are just like joining and they know Colleen's here on the pod, they don't know anything about you. We started off talking about confidence, but do you want to just give us like a brief snapshot of the history of who you are, where you've come from, what you've achieved?
Sure.
Maybe stuff that you haven't achieved. Do you know what I mean? Like just put it in context for us.
Sure. Well, my journey goes back. I finished school at the age of 16, much to my parents' sort of concern. Sure. I came home after getting a casual job at my local Just Jeans store and said to them, I'm not going back to school. I really love this retail stuff. They love me and they've offered me a full-time job, so I'm staying. Wow. And there was a big conversation in that moment. And the words my father said to me was, work hard, be passionate, love what you do and never give up. And that was the way I stepped into that chapter of my life. So I was 16, turning 17. I joined the Just Jeans team as a full-time sales assistant and I did what he said. By the age of 18, I was one of the youngest store managers. By the age of 20, I was an area manager with 16 stores. And at 24, I was running the state with 54 stores and multiple direct reports. And I spent the next 4 years of my career there. And then in 1999, I got a call from Sportsgirl, and we all know that brand, asking me to come and join them. And little did I know that I would join that brand and spend the next 20 years of my career there with 13 years as CEO across Sportsgirl and Sussan. And it was a phenomenal journey, but when I look back on that time, there was one thing that was always really important to me, and that was people. And it didn't matter what part of that journey I was on, whether it was 16 and running a small store or running a big organization, the most important thing to me was always the people that were around me and my team. And I definitely became a leader that led with kindness and put people at the heart of everything that I did. And it served me very well. And as I said, I really loved that journey. And then in 2020, I decided it was time to write the next chapter, and I really write my life in decades, and I was just about to enter into my 50s. So for me, it was, what does that next decade look like? So I hung up the striped boots and I became a non-executive director. I joined some boards. I started my own business. I'm the founder of Mentor Me Women, and I decided to write some books because I love sharing my journey. I love sharing the leadership journey. I love sharing the ups and downs, and I love sharing the bit about confidence because it wasn't something I always had, and it was something that I had to really learn as I went through life and experience new things. And I really wanted to share my journey with people and really sort of inspire and empower other people on their life and leadership journey. So that brings me here today.
I know. Remarkable,
it just keeps getting better and better on this pod, honestly.
Yeah.
It really does. James, you picking up some stuff here?
I've learned so much. Like the level of story that we've had throughout these sessions has just been absolutely incredible. But you speak so well and you just laid it all out like that. But in my head, I'm like, oh my God, that's so much in a short amount of time.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
And what inspired you to write the first book?
I wrote the first book in COVID, and I'd literally finished in my CEO world, and I honestly didn't know if I'd go back into another CEO role, or I really wanted to have 12 months off. That was my whole thing. I'd been working since I was 16 years of age. I was nearly coming into my 50s, and I'm like, I just want a year off. And COVID hit, so that locked me down. And I'm not someone to have a year off. I don't know. My husband kept saying, what are you talking about? You can't take 5 minutes off, let alone a year off. And that's where Mentor Me Women was born, because I had so many women contacting me, struggling through COVID. So I started this platform for women to share. And then I decided to write my book, which is called Leader by Design, as you know. Yes. And it was really sharing my journey from 16 to CEO and all of the ups and downs, including burnout. And it was something that I was seeing a lot of people face through COVID, was burnout. And so in Leader by Design, I put my burnout story to really hopefully help people work through their burnout. And burnout's not a great place to be, and I wish that someone had have talked to me about burnout and helped me recognize the signs of burnout before I was on that burnout train. And so I really wanted to help people. I really wanted to share my message on a much bigger stage than just in one organization. And, I loved what I did and I had incredible people around me. But when I stepped out of that, I realized there was a whole lot more people than just my little Sportsgirl and Sussan world that I could make an impact and influence and inspire people around me.
And with your burnout journey, so you just mentioned the signs and the symptoms, what sorts of things for people that are listening right now that are thinking, I feel like I could be there, but what is that? And
it's a really common place for people, and I think last year the stats were about 62% of people here in Australia had some form of burnout, and that is constant. It's the highest in the world. It's really crazy that we have that, and I think it's because we live in this life where we're just on this constant treadmill. We actually forget to get off, and I certainly had. And I write about myself in my first book as the red Ferrari, but the Ferrari that had never pulled into the pits, never put air in the tyre, never put petrol in the tank. I just wanted to keep going faster, 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 personal best every day. And as we know, no car works that well if we don't do the basic fundamentals.
She's talking about herself or she's talking about me?
I think we're probably talking. It's common traits, right?
It's your words.
If you're an A-type, overachieving, achievement junkie, perfectionist, which I think the three of us sitting around here we are very prone to burnout. And those signs were constant exhaustion, driving to work and thinking I'm not going to make it unless I wind my windows down and put my air conditioner on the coldest I can possibly have it, and we are in winter. It was falling asleep at your kid's concert. It was never knowing how to stop, getting home and putting the bag away and then putting the other hat on of being a mum and then a wife and then clean the house and then keep going and then get up and do it all again. And one of the big things for people that have burnout is we forget that there is support around us. We think that we wear this sort of workaholic, achievement junkie, A-type personality as like a badge of honour. And, I watch, my dad's Italian, so he's a very hard-working, tough man. And so I had this very, if you sit down, you're lazy. You never sit down. You don't stop. You keep going. And I think that served me very well building my career.
Yeah.
It didn't serve me well when I hit burnout.
So interesting. I think my 83-year-old dad, every day I call him and, Dad, what have you done today? And he's like, oh, you know what I'm like? I never sit down. He never sits down. Like he's just has to constantly be going. And I think the same. It served me well, but then you've got
I think it's a good foundation.
Yeah.
But you've got to know when to hold them and when to fold them, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot there. I think as well, Colleen, you highlighted you're in your 50s now, or you're in the 50th or 5th decade. I think between 40 and 50 is probably the hardest. You're sort of working, and so my wife and I, we talk about, hey, like 5 years to go, not because it's sort of like 5 years of slog still to go. And I can subscribe to that, knowing that like at the 5th year, it's time to pull back a little bit. Super interesting. I keep thinking about like how much money we spent on the weekend at Sportsgirl in Sorrento. My kids drag me in there all the time. It's a great shop.
Yeah. Mine at the Mornington store, so I hear you.
So
tell me a bit about though. So this is the interesting part, I guess. When you actually hit it, how crippling and fatiguing is it, and can you go back?
It's really crippling. And I remember I was general manager of Sportsgirl at the time. I was 36 years of age when I hit burnout, and I had 3 young children under the age of 10.
Wow.
And I came home one day and just in tears and said to my husband, I'm done. And I'm quite a black and white personality anyway. And I said, I can't get up and do it again tomorrow. It's not that I don't love my job. I think I've got the best job in the world. I'm general manager of Sportsgirl. It doesn't get much better than this. But I had nothing left in the tank. So I went in the next day to resign because I thought, that's the only option I had. And lucky for me, my boss, he was just divine. He talked me out of the idea and he said, Cole, we're not letting you leave. What can we do? And so I took 3.5 months off. I went to my happy place, which is now where I live permanently, which is Sorrento. And I put the Ferrari in for a well overdue service. And so I had to build in self-care, something I knew nothing about, because I'd really taught myself that self-care was selfish. How could you do anything for yourself when you have a team, you have children, you have a husband, a house, you have all of these things to worry about? How can you worry about you? So I had to learn to put myself first, which was really hard for someone like me. I had to set boundaries because I had none. And I think that was probably the biggest thing that changed my life, was setting boundaries. And when I talk to people today and they say, I'm on the burnout train, what's one thing you can suggest? I would say set boundaries, because boundaries are about protecting the asset, and the asset is you.
Totally.
You are the most important person. And often we think about our family and our friends and our business and all of those things as the most important thing, but actually we are the most important thing. And it took me a very, very long time to actually realize that.
And it's really interesting you say that, because it's in front of us the whole time, right? So, they say on the airplane, put your mask on first. That still doesn't make sense to me. But like hearing you talk today, I get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not that I didn't get it, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
And
There's a lot to take in here. Like
that step
hearing
though,
highlights.
from that into confidence, what was that progression for you?
I think confidence is that it's not a straight line like anything, right? It's not, we're not there today and we're there forever. Confidence goes up and down. It ebbs and flows as we go through life. It's also not something we're born with. And a lot of people will look at other people and think, wow, they're such a confident person. They must have been born with confidence. And that's actually not true. None of us are born with confidence. So, and through my journey, particularly through my CEO years, I watched women hold themselves back all the time, play small, second guess themselves, ask themselves questions, not put their hand up for the promotion because of confidence. And when we change the confidence narrative, when we start to believe, when we start to change our story, everything in our life changes. And I talk about all those roads lead back to confidence, because when we're confident in ourselves, we can do things we never, ever thought we could do. We can get on that ski slope when you're 30. It's scary and you have to push yourself out of your comfort zone, but you can do it. You can actually do more than you realize when you live, lead, and love with confidence.
So people that are listening now, if they are feeling like they're not confident, where do they start?
I think start by changing your story, because we all have, the reason we hold ourselves back is because we have this little voice in our head, our inner critic, that tells us we're not good enough, someone's better than us, someone's done it before, I'm too young, I'm too old, I don't fit in. All of these stories that we create for ourselves, right? And they're the stories that hold us back. So I would say to anyone who is listening, ask yourself, what is the story you're telling yourself? What is the story that's really holding you back? Because more often than not, that story is the one we're creating for ourselves. No one else is creating that story for us.
Yes.
It's coming internally. And when we start to change that story, we actually change our life.
Oh, that's powerful. I love that. All these little nuggets.
all nuggets, yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to link all of Colleen's details in the show notes. We're going to link it to the book as well.
And is the book only on your website, or where can people find it?
No, the book is everywhere.
Great.
It is on Booktopia, it is on Amazon, it is in Dymocks, it is in all your local bookstores.
Great.
It's everywhere. It's been out since January and it's been absolutely phenomenal. So I'm really excited to be sharing it with both of you today.
And so, Colleen, like, it feels like you did so much in your late teens all the way through to your 50s. Like, it feels like you've written a book, you're sitting on some, well, you've written multiple books, but you're sitting on some boards. It feels like the Ferrari is still in the garage. Or do you take it out for joyrides every now and again? And
Oh, it's always there.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that we can't do is change the make and model of who we are.
yeah,
It's always there.
I get the feeling that you conquered so much between sort of 16 and 50. And now I appreciate you're enjoying life and you've got, other things going on, kids and all the rest of it. But I feel like you're still, I hope this comes across right. It's going to come out of my mouth. I still feel like you're in your mid-20s. I feel the energy that you still have, and like I just feel like you've still got so much more.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for
Well,
that.
that's the impression.
I would have gone with mid-40s.
Yeah,
I would have
just-
taken anything, really.
Yeah, but like like the energy, your clarity, your leadership, your knowledge base, your experience, all these things add up. It feels like it feels, I mean, for you, it's bliss, but for people in business and leadership, and for us as leaders trying to be inspired by other leaders, it feels like the Ferrari's in the garage a little bit here still.
She does come out. I'm still the Ferrari. I choose to drive her a little bit differently these days
Okay.
than what I did in my 20s, 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
But, I honestly, I don't feel any different. Age for me is just, it's a number.
Yeah.
I don't feel any different to when I was in my 20s or 30s or 40s. Like, I really don't.
I
And
still
think-
feel 21.
Yeah,
Even though I'm
exactly.
45.
Yeah, age, it's just a number. And I think it's all about your mindset and your positivity and your confidence. And, I think coming in, I'm 55. I turned 55 this year. And I think I'm in the best decade of my life. I think this is where, as you said earlier, your 30s are very different to your 40s and very different to your 50s. And so I'm really being able to do things that really fill my cup in my 50s, things I really enjoy. And I still feel like I do have a lot to offer, and I get to share that on so many different platforms, whether it be in a boardroom, whether it be as a keynote speaker on stage, whether it's with a group of women that need support. It doesn't really matter where I am. I feel like I still have a lot to share and a lot to give. And that's really, I suppose, what keeps me going.
Incredible. Well, if you guys want a piece, there's going to be a link to potentially Amazon store or something to that description where you can download or listen or buy Colleen's book. And I'm in Sorrento quite a bit. So now if I see you on the street, I might have to pull you over and have a conversation and engage.
Go for a walk along the beach. You walk along the
I
beach.
walk every day. So, yes, I have a black lab and walk every day. And it's just a wonderful part of the world to live in.
Yes, it is. All right, guys, quick word from our sponsors, and Kate and I'll be back.
weareluna.co is a great place for you and your business to start off with phenomenal accounting and legal services. So if you're a startup or a scale-up looking for legal and finance support, or alternatively looking to raise capital, weareluna.co is where you need to be starting off.
Such a powerful topic, isn't it?
So I'm so lit up right now.
And I think you don't have conversations about confidence. You're expected, you get to a certain age.
Feels
and
like a
you have
byproduct,
confidence.
or it feels like a trail.
Yeah. And I think that vulnerability is thinking about it and talking about it. And I love the ups and downs, because that's how my confidence feels all the time. When you're thrown into, look up some app for your Shopify store and implement some program, confidence is at a 0, and you have to get uncomfortable and learn it. And once you do it, you're like, do you want me to set this up for you, Tobes?
Yes, I do. But the harper's just ringing through my ears. Fuck it, I'll wing it.
Yeah.
And the confidence that she has as well. Like, just I watch her. I get a lot from her on the basketball court. One of her coaches said, when you make the play, do this and point at the player that assisted you to make that play. And so she does this and points to me on the sideline.
Oh,
And I'm like,
it's amazing.
love it. Confidence is it's actually a real I don't know how to.
It's a gift for our kids, isn't
yeah,
it? The
but-
fact that you know,
like the most beautiful woman in the world, in Tobi speaking about this, if she has no confidence, she's not beautiful.
Oh, exactly.
You know,
And
someone that's probably not as beautiful but has the confidence is like so sexy, so incredibly, like, you want to get around it.
yeah.
So huge highlight, confidence. And my chairman, I'm not going to expose his name, but he knows who he is, says, Tobi, don't blink. I often we have a weekly catch up, and there's some shit that I've got to handle that I'm like shitting myself on, and he's like, don't blink. And so that to me is another interpretation of confidence. He's like, yeah, you might be shitting yourself, but like, if you blink in that meeting, you're going to lose. So don't blink and stay in your position.
Wow.
And so even when you don't have confidence, there's a little bit of not faking it till you make it, but sort of like a pump fake.
And I love
get
that
the defender
it's
to go past for an
story
easy
you've got
two.
to change because no one else is reading that story. You're the only one reading
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
change it.
It's a story like it's you versus you in your head. Unreal. I love that we've highlighted this. I love that it's at the surface and it's not trailing. I love that it's something that one can lead with, even if they don't feel it. But then sometimes you kind of grow into it, right? I've called my sisters during COVID, like crying. I'm not sure I can do this. Da 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 da. And my sister didn't blink. She's like, all right, you got your big boy pants? Put them back on. She goes, if anyone can do it, you can do it. Why do you believe in me if I don't believe in me? She's like, you've got this. She has confidence. And so I am here because of those troops in my corner rallying and having belief and confidence in me to then give myself confidence to go and do what I got to do.
So amazing.
Very powerful.
Yeah, bring your support people. It's
Very,
amazing.
very, very powerful. All right, guys.
It's a wrap.
See you on the next one.